This is how you prepare for the Great Reset. If you weren't aware, we already see this taking place. From the massive power outages that are happening across the globe due to energy shortages, from the global supply chain problems that are escalating every single day, and even side effects of currency debasement, you need to stop relying on and believing in elected officials to solve these problems. Because if you don't stop relying on them, you're going to be the person in 2030 that owns nothing and will be happy. These officials like Nancy Pelosi or Gary Gensler that are supposed to be protecting investors and helping further generate wealth for the economy. Or for Pelosi, literally govern the business of the administration. And this goes for every government official. Doesn't matter the incompetence, which side you're on, or the corruption that's happening. What matters is the results. The results are that it has become very obvious that Congress, people like Pelosi, obviously inside trade. Whether it's buying Tesla stock before passing and governing bills that actually are pro-EV, or whatever the source, these politicians are able to do this because of their funding. And the worst part is that they have unlimited funding. And on top of this, have zero accountability. For example, our government just equipped the Taliban to be a top 15 armed nation in the world. Not being political, this is just the truth. And there was zero accountability for that. The system we live in has too much momentum and too much power to be stopped at this given moment. It has too much power, it can stop and overrule anything that would get in its way. And this is where Friedrich Hayek comes into play, who was a famous Austrian-British economist. He said we can't have a good money again before we take things out of the hands of the government. That is, we can't take it violently out of their hands. All we can do is by some sly roundabout way introduce something they can't stop. So what is this vehicle that they cannot stop? And this modern roundabout way is Bitcoin. Cryptography has been being developed since the late 1900s as a way to actually oppress the government. Being decentralized, being not controlled by any centralized entity. This allows the economy to have a free market. This freedom allows us to see more innovation in our actual economy. And what was first a joke or a glimpse or a criminal activity is now being adopted by many different countries, as Bitcoin has become this store of value. And with this cryptography has came many different innovations. And for this reason, the US does not plan on banning cryptocurrencies anytime soon. As just like China got left behind in the late 1800s from switching over from the silver standard to the gold standard, the US would get left behind in the same way. So how to prepare? Follow the smart money. Follow the innovations that solve real world issues. In this case for cryptocurrency that has actual use case or real world utility. I have tons of videos on these types of currency on my page, like DAG, Constellation Network, Vector Space AI or VXV, Bitcoin, Quant, XRP, LTX. The list goes on. You need to learn about cryptocurrency.